Hi everyone, this is Jane here from Crystal Sparkles Readings, and I'm just doing a very brief video. I did do a little broadcast on Periscope earlier on, but it hasn't saved down for me, so I'm just going to quickly, briefly put this up onto my YouTube channel. So I'm just doing a little rewind, really, of what it was, what it said. So the first card I drew was the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is all about your kind of imagination, new ideas. It talks about contact. It talks about swift movement, things coming in swiftly, new ideas coming in to you. So you might feel really imaginative, kind of playful. It's kind of, it's like I was saying, it feels like to me, you know, when little kids have their toys out, and they might have dolls, they might have cars, they might have whatever, and they've got a whole little world that they're making up, and it's all, to them it's all real, and you know, to us we look at it and we think that it's amazing imagination, but they're really in that world, and it's all just, you know, they make this whole just a whole load of ideas up, and they're really embroiled in all of that. So it's about imagination, really, and invention. I think lots of new ideas. This is a real kind of inventor card. It's quite a young card though, so it's very new. It's very energy is very it's in its infancy, so it's not like really hyper developed. So it's kind of like you get this idea and you do it, rather than getting into the energy of overthinking things, which we tend to do as we get a bit older. You know, as a child you'd go, yeah, I'm going to make this, and you just go make it. As an adult you tend to think, oh, I won't, better not make it that way, I better make it this way, and I better not do that. And you know, we'll overthink things. So this is very much straightforward ideas, and kind of just like, just being inventive. So in terms of today, you might find yourself with loads of new ideas, new beginnings. You might have lots of messages coming into you. These swords cards talk about messages, all kinds of communications. You might find yourself really communicative, talking about loads and loads of different new ideas, and having all this new energy, really quite buzzy in its nature. And the oracle card that I had to go with that is this one, which is the Sweat Lodge. And when I read it, first of all, I read it as the Sweet Lodge, and I think there's something in that, because it's a little bit Freudian, isn't it, reading and saying what you are needing to say, or needing to feel, or needing to heal. I felt it was sweet, because I felt it was like coming home. I felt it was like coming into a place of safety and being in that place of being nurtured. When I actually looked at the book, it talks about more like it's the Sweat Lodge in the book, and in the book it talks about you going into this kind of cave like area, which represented like the womb, and basically being in this place where they have like a really warm fire, and you kind of sweat out all your impurities. So I kind of felt like I wasn't really seeing it in exactly the same way, probably because I wasn't reading the word in exactly the right way either. That was my mistake, or not, because I don't think there are any mistakes, and sometimes I think there is a different interpretation. In the book meaning, it's you go into this place to remove all your impurities and to kind of get all of that stuff out, and that. But I felt when I was looking at it, I was looking at going to a safer place, going to, you know, almost going within, back into your little world, into your little cave. So yeah, into Mother Earth for sure. And, you know, returning to the womb and all of that stuff has its own, there are loads and loads of different psychology studies that have talked about that in great detail. You know, that feeling of going back into the womb and being back in the safe arms of your mum, and, you know, back in there. And that's quite deep, and these cards are quite deep. But you know, in a way, it's a reflection, and yes, you may be going back in there you may be in there to sort of remove all those impurities, but going back into that safe place, into that place where you're nurtured, it's almost like it was before you had all of those things. You know, when before we were born, we didn't have all that stuff we were carrying around. We didn't have all that toxicity. We didn't have all of that, and it's almost like going back to that for me. I just felt more like I was in a place of safety and love and warmth and being nurtured by the earth. That's the energy that I had with this particular card. So in terms of a card for the day, it's lots of new ideas, loads and loads of new energy, imagination, and all of that stuff. And this sweat lodge is about that, going into that place where you can meditate and be peaceful and all of that kind of energy. So the two almost kind of contradict each other, because one's really busy and one's really slow down. So there's a reflection there and there's a balance to be had. So it may be that today is manic, loads of ideas going on, lots and lots of things in your head. Towards the end of the day, it's talking about nurture, it's talking about being in a more peaceful place. So I will leave that with you for today, and I'll be back again tomorrow to do another little card for the day. But for now, have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.